It's a new beta session. There's 2 new divisions. Let's quickly take a look at them. The 78th Sturm Division is a German mechanized division with lots of infantry, support, anti-tank, and artillery. The income is the same as the previous divisions and same with activation points, so it's probably going to be the same for every single division. There's nothing really too crazy in the recon tab. You got these 10-point tracks with 2 machine guns on the back, and also this T-26. This is the Sturm Division, and well, they like Sturm Gewehrs, because they got a shit ton of them. These Begleitführers, Begleit Grenadiers, as well as Sturm Shooter, which is a 13-man STG squad, really bring out a lot of firepower. You got these highly A-phase veteranry Begleit Pioneers with Rail Pioneer Grenades, and also Bavarians make a comeback from SD-44. You'll pretty much live in the stug life in the tank section. Nothing really too fancy in support. You got these funny looking tractors, IT-33s make a comeback, and also a Panzer II command tank. The tank is pretty interesting. You got Panzer Boyses, Panzer Shreks. You can get a rather healthy amount of Marder 2s as well as Pack 40. And then we got the 2 big boys. The Nashorners aren't exactly card efficient, but Rella is a big gun on a Hummel chassis. And of course, 1 card of Pack 43s. Once again, not exactly card efficient, but it's a Pack 43, or it'll put a hole through anything. TR is very standard. Nothing too crazy in the artillery tab. You get some Nebelwerfers, which is pretty nice, as well as these 150mm artillery pieces. Oh, and there's also 210mm railway off-map. Airplanes is rather interesting. We got another cheap recon plane. I was going to say biplane, but it is actually a monoplane with 1 whole machine gun on the back. You got a JE-188 recon plane. He's a rather big boy, as well as this Messerschmitt recon plane. Speaking of Messerschmitts, you got multiple versions of the G6 Messerschmitt, with and without gun polish, and JE-188 with lots of small bombs or 2 really big bombs. You got a healthy amount of defences with some new Pack 37 and some Pack 50mm bunkers available. The 26th Guard Strelocki Division is a Russian Infantry division with lots of infantry, support, and artillery guns. Once again, same income, same activation points. Nothing really too crazy in the recon tab. There are sniper squads now, which is pretty cool. Infantry, you got NKVD troops. Hopefully they don't shoot you in the back as you roll full back. Nothing really too crazy in terms of most of the baseline infantry. You do got these Sturmoviki, which is a nice SMG squad, and so they do spout out rather sexy Soviet body armor, as well as a flamethrower version of the squad with 2 flamethrowers. That's a lot of flame. There's also a penal squad, but it's rather generous calling them a squad because they have 20 bloody guys. In terms of tanks, you got some rather interesting options such as KV-1Ss, T-34E models, the rather heavily armoured KV-1E, and KV-85, which is kind of like a budget Tiger, if I do make the comparison. There's also a single IS-1 that you can get, so it's kind of like your unicorn tank. Surprisingly, small millimeter mortars are now considered support weaponry, which does make sense historically. They do have worse range than they did in SD-44. In terms of other infantry options, they're pretty much the same compared to the previous Russian division. There is also a T-34 flamethrower tank, which is cool, and it still maintains the main gun. A notable new anti-tank unit is the Faustniki unit, which has Faust rounds and a machine gun. Anti-air is pretty abysmal, apart from the American M15. The baseline artillery options is pretty much the same as before, but if you scroll down to the bottom, we got 3 big boys. The first one being the Andrusha, which is the Super Katusha, as it shoots 300mm rockets and it has 12 of them. You don't get a lot of these Andrushas. You also got the classic 203mm artillery piece, and once again, you don't really get much of them. And then you got the big boy, the M6, the 280mm gun, and once again, you don't get a lot of them. As for airplanes, there's nothing really too fancy. You got a PE-2 recon plane, multiple versions of the Yak-9, including a cluster bomber variant. Surprisingly, it's also the IL-2 with 37mm anti-tank guns, but there's also a version that comes with bombs, and another one that comes with smaller bombs. And if we scroll down to the bottom, there's a PE-2 rocket plane. For defenses, you got a lot of slots. You got a 45mm bunker and a PTRD-41 bunker. And that's pretty much it for the 2 new divisions. So let's check out his bunker. Nope, that's not a PTRD, that's something else for sure.